Can you imagine getting an SMS at the beginning of the year that you've just been fired from your job and you should not report to work the following day? Well, that's what happened to Mary Njoki, but her reaction will shock you. Stay tuned. Mary Njoki grew up as an ordinary Kenyan girl, actually in a rural countryside, somewhere from central Kenya, and she attended the normal, typical village schools, and her ambition actually was to be either a teacher or a nun, because that was the environment around her. Her mom was a teacher, she was raised up as a Catholic, but then as she went on, someone in high school introduced her to programming and computers, and she really enjoyed computers, and her passion now switched from being a teacher to actually becoming a computer scientist. And so she went on to college, wanted to join computer science, but because of school fees and challenges of getting scholarships, she switched to doing a diploma in Bachelor of Business and Information Technology. And there she actually says she wrote a whole program which she sold to her teacher who never paid her. But it's a very interesting part of her story. And so after that, she went on to join a software company, expecting for her to be put in a programming section. But lo and behold, her boss told her, no, I want you to go and do sales. So dress up, in skirt suits and walk from building to building, office to office, selling. These guys were dealing with websites, custom domains, and all of that. So a lesson for us here, one of the things that Njoki did, her strategy was when she would get a business card, she would quickly look at the email address. If it had something at gmail.com, you are her client. She would call you and tell you, hey, why not have your own custom domain, for your own brand, for your own business, it would be good. And so someone she talked to in that regard actually introduced her to a network of business people who used to meet for breakfast at 6 a.m. once a week. And her boss told her, now you'll be the one attending that meeting. And so she made a lot of associates from that particular meeting who would help her later in her career. And so after that software job, she landed into another gig. These ones now are doing networking and hardware and selling, LAN systems and things like that. So she says the job was not vitally. She really was not feeling it so much. And to make matters worse, there was a disconnect in terms of communication between the management and the staff. And so she used to ask herself, is there something that can be done? Create a standard communication protocol between the staff and the management. This is a gap. So entrepreneur, keep your eyes open for opportunity. That is a key lesson for us. And so it is at this job actually that she got fired. The SMS she got was from this particular employer. And she says she was happy because really the job was not giving her the vibe and the energy that she was looking for. And so Tuesday she got fired. By Friday she got another job now in a PR agency. And so it is in PR that she noticed, the issue I was thinking about in my previous job, actually this is PR work, where you create communication protocols between the firm and the outside world, the firm and the media, the firm within itself, with its employees, management and employees and all of that. So she really loved the job, and one of her first assignments, according to the story is on KTN Home, and I'll put the link for you to watch, is that there was a firm that needed to have the media come for a press release, and she was the one tasked to handle that, and she really enjoyed it. And so she enjoyed her work there, and also on the side she was working with some artists, gospel artists. Some of you remember K-Crew, and K-Crew had a Bible study then that she used to attend. And so as she looked at the artists, she saw there was also a gap in terms of their image, consulting and all of that. And so again, eyes open to see opportunities. I normally say one of the questions that even God would ask the prophets in the Bible was, Son of man, what seest thou? And when the prophet would answer, the Lord would tell them, you have seen well. So eyes open to see opportunities, to see gaps. And so she noticed, that gap with her artist that she was attending Bible study with. Now, at some point, she began to feel, and she began actually to tell her people in the PR agency that, the future is digital. This is 2012. So this girl was seeing ahead, hawk vision or eagle vision, telling them that the future is digital. We need to now begin to transition from just purely analog to digital. And nobody really understood. Management would be looking at her like, what? Who is digital? What is digital? How? And no one took her seriously. She's a smallish girl also, so maybe that was compounding to the challenge. But then she decided just one morning, I'm not going to work. That's it. She made the decision. And so in the story, Catherine Mwangi, the host, asked her that, did you have any savings? She says, I had only 6,000 shillings. So the 6,000, she went and bought a modem. Those are the days of accessing internet via modem. There was no widespread Wi-Fi then, as we have today. And so got a modem, which didn't work. She had to buy another one and then registered her firm. The first name was interesting, Diva Image Consulting something. And when she sent it now to remember the associates that she was meeting, and which is another key lesson for us, keep your associates close and keep your relationship solid, actually. One of the guys said, hey, this name, Mary, no, this name is not giving. You come, we discuss. So she went there. After a number of iterations, she says when she was just walking out of the door, this guy sent her a text, why don't we call it Glasshouse P.R? And that was it. And that's how the name Glasshouse came about, a name that has, is there till date. And Glasshouse has grown to the point where now they're actually engaging continentally, across Africa. They have consultants that they work with across Africa, firms that come to Africa needing an African-wide, PR kind of strategy. They talk to Mary. And her clients include Facebook today, Google have approached her as well. And so the story of how from just a village girl, from just wanting to be a teacher or to be a nun, to running a company that is headed towards a multi-billion-dollar outfit is indeed a remarkable story. And one of the things also a core principle of innovation is what we call the mashup. And the mashup is simply that most innovations are hybrid of two or more things, just like a simple thing, the smartphone that you use every day is a hybrid between the telephone and the computer, And so when I was telling you that she looked in her last job, when she told them that PR is going digital, you see, for her, she was combining her knowledge of software and, websites and all of that with now the PR work. So she was seeing a future where these things would need to be online. PR would need to be done online. It would not just be analog on print media and all of that. We would actually need to go digital. So that is a key thing, that mashup. What things can you combine? What skills can you combine to create something new, to create a solution that people have not thought about? So mashup. What ideas, what skill sets can you combine to come up with something that will tackle a need or a challenge that is there around you in the society today? So Mary's story is an interesting story that also just shows us what God can do in a life surrendered to Him. Being a born again, a follower of Christ, she mentions there that indeed she sees God's hand, the divine hand of God, all through her life, leading her, through the twists and turns of life. And so it's amazing to see, how God can take, a girl, from a village to a girl now that is building a business that is, touching, the whole of the continent of Africa, and indeed just proving that there's no limit to what God can do in a life that is totally surrendered to Him. And so I would encourage you to go and watch the story, and even follow her link. I would think I would put her bios, down in the description box. As well, Mary, actually, before I forgot, she has a club called A Billion Startups, and basically this was born out of the request by young entrepreneurs for her to mentor them. And so she decided, why not do this thing properly rather than just haphazard kind of thing. So A Billion Startups is there. That is its purpose. And people join in cohorts and learn. She, goes with them, and it's free, actually. Very interesting. But, there she would teach you values of business. She would teach them, the fact that business is not just about capital, because most of us think of, capital, I need capital. I need large sums of money. But you can see Mary herself started with just 6,000 shillings. And her business today is continental. So, yeah, quite an inspiring story. So this has been Lessons from an Entrepreneur and under Babu's Musings. So I hope you're inspired, and I hope you can also comment and tell me what you've learned in this story. Shalom Aleichem. God bless you.